You know, after more than 30 years of working with people over 50, I've realized something. Most of us aren't really afraid of illness itself. What we fear is losing our independence, losing the ability to do the simplest things like watering the garden or taking a morning walk with a loved one without feeling exhausted. I once asked one of my patients, a 62-year-old man living with polycystic kidney disease, what he feared the most. He didn't say, "I'm afraid of dying." He said, "I'm afraid I won't have the strength to live a normal life anymore." And that moment made me realize something profound. Sometimes what matters isn't how long we live, but how we live, and whether we still have the energy to enjoy the life we have. When people hear the words polycystic kidney disease, many instantly think of it as a life sentence. But today I want you to pause and imagine this. What if I told you that the simple things you do every day, a glass of water, a meal, a good night's sleep, could add years, even decades to your kidney health? Would you believe me? I've seen patients do exactly that, and they didn't use any miracle cure. They simply learned to understand their bodies and treated them with consistent care. Let me tell you a story. A woman named Linda, now 58, was diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease 12 years ago. Back then, her doctor told her that if the disease progressed, she might need dialysis within 10 years. Linda cried. She thought her life was over. But then she started changing little things. She learned to stay hydrated, not by chugging water all at once, but by sipping steadily throughout the day. She cooked her meals at home, cutting her salt intake in half. She took gentle walks every morning for 20 to 30 minutes, rain or shine. And today, more than a decade later, Linda's kidney function remains stable. She still travels, takes care of her grandchildren, and cooks dinner for her husband every night. Her story taught me that sometimes willpower and the right knowledge can be stronger than medicine. From a medical point of view, here's what's happening. Polycystic kidney disease means small fluid-filled sacs, called cysts, start to grow in your kidneys. Over time, they enlarge and press on the healthy kidney tissue. These cysts grow faster because of a hormone called vasopressin, which your body releases when you're dehydrated. That means when you don't drink enough water, your body thinks you're thirsty and releases vasopressin to hold on to water. But unintentionally, that same hormone makes the cysts expand faster. It sounds simple, doesn't it? And that's why staying well hydrated every day can be one of the most powerful ways to slow the disease. Another key point I want you to remember, blood pressure is the kidney's silent partner. If your blood pressure stays high, your kidneys must work twice as hard, and those cysts grow even faster. A major U.S. study showed that keeping your blood pressure below 120 over 80 can add years to your kidney's life. Even lowering it by just 10 millimeters of mercury can reduce your risk of kidney failure by more than 10%. I often tell my patients, blood pressure isn't just a number, it's the countdown clock for your kidney's future. And of course, diet plays a big part in this picture. Eating less salt, avoiding processed foods, filling your plate with fresh fruits and vegetables, and choosing plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, or soy. All of these are much gentler on your kidneys than red meat. Your body will thank you for it. I remember a patient once told me, "Doctor, I never imagined eating less salt would make me feel so much better. I sleep better, my legs don't swell, and I wake up feeling lighter every morning." Sometimes we don't need big changes. We just need to pause and truly listen to our bodies. I know that at age 50 or 60, you've already been through a lot. You've been strong, overcome challenges, and maybe now you feel tired of having to fight one more chronic condition. But please remember this. You are not alone. Millions of people around the world are living well with PKD, not because they're lucky, but because they choose to take small actions every single day. They drink one more glass of water. They walk instead of sitting all day. They go to bed 30 minutes earlier. And they live longer, healthier, and freer lives because of it. So when you watch this video, I don't just want you to learn something new. I want you to feel something, to realize that every small choice you make today, a meal, a breath, a night of sleep, is sending a message to your body. I want to live well. I want to live with purpose. And your body will respond by healing, slowing down, and giving you more time. If there's one thing I've learned in my 30 years of practice, it's this. Health doesn't just live inside a doctor's office. It lives in how you live your life every single day. Drink enough water, keep your blood pressure steady, eat simply, sleep deeply, and don't forget to smile, because sometimes a smile is the most powerful medicine for your heart and your kidneys. Thank you for being here today. If this video made you pause, reflect, or inspired you to start again, even if it's just with a glass of water, a healthy meal, or a good night's rest, then you're already on the right path. Remember, every day is a new chance to care for yourself, and it's never too late to begin. Now, I want to share with you some specific strategies, things that modern science has proven can slow the progression of polycystic kidney disease, PKD, sometimes by decades. And trust me, it's not complicated. I always tell my patients, you don't need to change the whole world, just change your day. Because it's what you repeat every day, how you drink, how you eat, how you sleep, that truly determines the lifespan of your kidneys. 1. Blood pressure. The friend you need to check in with every day. I once had a patient named George. He was a retired engineer, 67 years old, very organized in everything he did. But there was one thing he never did: measure his blood pressure at home. He thought, I feel fine, so my blood pressure must be fine too. Until one day he felt dizzy while bending down, and his blood pressure was 165/95. What most people don't realize is that high blood pressure is a silent kidney killer. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't cause discomfort, but every day it quietly damages the tiny blood vessels inside your kidneys, allowing cysts to grow faster. So my advice is always simple. Treat your blood pressure monitor like your most honest friend. Check it a few times a week, once in the morning when you wake up and once in the evening before bed. Your target should be below 120/80 millimeters of mercury. If you can maintain that, you're protecting your kidneys, your heart, and even your brain at the same time. Large studies, like the HALT PKD trial, have shown that just lowering blood pressure from 140 to 120 can reduce the rate of kidney function decline by nearly 50%. Yes, by simply caring for that number, you can buy yourself more healthy years. Go 2. Water, the cheapest but most powerful medicine. One of the most beautiful things about the human body is that it's always sending us signals. We just don't always listen. Your body doesn't just need water to survive, it needs it to protect your kidneys. In PKD, each cyst is like a tiny water balloon, and what makes them grow faster is a hormone called vasopressin, which is released when you're dehydrated. That means that drinking enough water every day is one of the simplest, yet most powerful ways to keep your kidneys stable. I usually recommend my patients drink 3 to 4 liters of water a day, depending on their condition, unless their doctor has restricted fluids. An easy rule of thumb: if your urine is pale yellow or nearly clear, you're doing well. I once had a patient named Clara, 70, who lived alone. She told me, Doctor, I never feel thirsty, so I hardly drink water. When we started tracking her intake, she set a timer to remind herself every 2 hours. And after just 3 months, her kidney test showed a clear slowdown in disease progression. There's no magic here, just water and consistency. 3. Nutrition. Eat simply to live longer. Another key, and often the hardest part for many people, is diet. We live in an age where processed food is everywhere, and it's easy to forget that our kidneys weren't designed to handle packaged meals. If you have PKD, the first thing to remember is this: salt is a silent enemy. Keep your sodium intake below 2,300 milligrams a day. That's less than 1 teaspoon of salt. And most of that salt doesn't come from your salt shaker. It hides in canned foods, fast food, sauces, cheese, and deli meats. Try this for just 1 week. Cook your meals at home. Use natural seasonings like garlic, pepper, and herbs. You'll feel lighter, and your blood pressure will thank you. As for protein, don't misunderstand. You need it, just not too much. Aim for about zero point 0.8 to 1 gram per kilogram of body weight per day, and prioritize plant-based proteins, beans, lentils, soy, quinoa. They're easier to digest, produce less acid, and are much gentler on your kidneys than red meat. Here's something most people overlook. Sugar, especially fructose, can also promote cyst growth through the same pathway as vasopressin. In other words, every can of soda doesn't just add calories, it makes your kidneys age faster. So if you want to start with one simple change, replace sugary drinks with water. It's a small habit, but over time it can make a huge difference. 4. Medication. When science supports your body, I know. Many people don't like taking medication, but sometimes medication isn't a sign of weakness. It's a tool that helps you extend the life of your most vital organs. For PKD, one of the most effective drug groups includes ACE inhibitors and ARBS. They help control blood pressure and protect the kidney's microcirculation, reducing strain on healthy tissue. In recent years, research on SGLT2 inhibitors, a class of drugs originally used for diabetes, has shown that they can slow kidney function decline in many chronic kidney diseases, including PKD. And if you've heard of tolvaptan, it's a medication that directly targets vasopressin, helping to slow cyst growth. It's not for everyone. It can cause thirst, frequent urination, and elevated liver enzymes. But in the right patients, it can significantly delay disease progression. So, talk carefully with your nephrologist. Sometimes the right decision at the right time can preserve kidney function for years. 5. Lifestyle. The most powerful foundation of all. Finally, I want to emphasize something many people forget. No medicine is stronger than your lifestyle. Quit smoking. Nicotine constricts blood vessels, reducing oxygen to your kidneys. Limit alcohol. It raises uric acid and blood pressure. Get 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. Sleep is when your kidneys recover. And manage stress through meditation, yoga, or even just a few minutes of deep breathing each morning. One of my patients, a retired teacher, once told me, "Doctor, when I started spending just 10 minutes each morning to breathe and listen to my body, life slowed down. And strangely enough, my blood pressure started dropping too." Your body always responds to how you live. If you treat it gently, it will return the favor. I want you to remember this. None of us can turn back time, but every day we can slow it down. Start with small things: a glass of water, a gentle meal, a good night's sleep, and a bit of gratitude. Because it's those simple things that quietly protect your heart and your kidneys. Day by day, you know. In more than 35 years of medical practice, I've met hundreds of patients living with polycystic kidney disease, or PKD. Each of them carries a story. Some face it with fear, others with hope. And what I've realized is this: disease does not define who we are. It's how we live, how we respond, that shapes the rest of our lives. One day I visited an old patient of mine, Mr. Samuel, 72 years old. He had been living with PKD for over 20 years. I asked him, "Do you ever get tired of taking care of yourself every single day?" He smiled, looked at me and said, "Doctor, I don't call it taking care of an illness. I call it taking care of life. Because if I stop caring for my body, I stop being grateful for being alive." I was silent for a long time, and I thought, maybe that's the answer modern medicine has been searching for all along. Health isn't just a number on a lab result. It's a way of living. I'm telling you this not just for emotion, but because science agrees. Studies show that people who maintain a positive mindset, keep a clear sense of purpose, and stay socially connected tend to have slower disease progression, fewer hospitalizations, and better quality of life. In fact, a landmark study from Harvard, spanning over 80 years, found that it's not money or status that predicts longevity. It's good relationships and peace of mind that help people live the longest and healthiest lives. So if you're listening right now, I want you to do one small thing. Pause for a moment, place your hand over your chest, and feel your heartbeat. That rhythm is proof that you are still here, still given another chance to change, to love, and to live more gently. I know, staying healthy at 60 or 70 isn't easy. Every pill, every doctor's visit, every restless night can feel like a challenge. But I also know this. You are stronger than you think. I once worked with a 68-year-old woman named Linda, diagnosed with stage 3 PKD. She was terrified of dialysis. But instead of giving up, she began keeping a daily journal, recording her meals, her sleep, her blood pressure, and even her emotions. A year later, her test results were so stable that even I was surprised. When I asked her what her secret was, she said, "I decided to become my body's best friend." And if there's one message I want to leave you with today, it's exactly that. Become your body's best friend. Instead of blaming it for being weak, thank it for trying every single day. Instead of fearing illness, learn to listen to the small signals your body sends you. Every heartbeat, every breath, every sip of water, they're all quiet messages saying, "I'm still here. I still want to live with you." I want you to imagine this. One morning, you step out onto your balcony. You take a deep breath as sunlight filters through the trees. You hold a glass of water, take a slow sip, and whisper to yourself, "Today I begin another day, together with my kidneys." Not in fear, but in companionship. Because your kidneys are not your enemies, they're simply trying to survive, just like you are. And then, you'll notice something beautiful happens when your perspective changes. Illness no longer feels like a punishment. It becomes an invitation to live more consciously, more deeply, to listen to your body, to love yourself, and to appreciate every moment of being alive. I know you might be tired. I know there are nights you lie awake, worrying about your next lab results. But remember that every day you choose to live with intention, you are rewriting your future. No matter what stage you're in, don't lose hope. Because health has never been just a story of medicine, it's a story of belief. Belief that your body can heal, belief that every small choice, a glass of water, a night of rest, a smile, truly matters, and belief that age does not limit your capacity for joy. Before you go, I want to ask you one thing. If today you could do just one small thing to protect your kidney health, what would it be? Share your answer in the comments below. I'd love to know where you're starting from, because sometimes one small decision can change the entire course of your life. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. If these reflections resonated with you, please consider subscribing so we can continue this journey together. Not just through medicine, but through the deeper path of finding peace within. Because taking care of your health isn't just about treating disease, it's about learning to live fully, one day at a time.